Dear brothers and sisters, as Father's Day was here today, a mother took her 3-year-old son to the card store. Inside, she showed him the cards for daddies and told him to pick up one card. As she looked, her son was picking up one card after another one, opening them up, quickly showing them back to slots. She asked, "Tyler, what are you doing? Have you not found a nice card for your daddy yet?" "No," he replied. "I am looking for one with money in it." Happy Father's Day to all you fathers and grandfathers. So, dear brothers and sisters, God will not abandon us. As we gather today, some of us may feel troubled and abandoned in some way. We may be in any number of senses, like sheep without a shepherd. God sees us in our struggles, in our wanderings, in our suffering, in our pain. Our first reading today shows that God never abandoned us, but works to gather us back to himself. In the first reading, the Lord said, I bore you upon eagle's wings and brought you here to myself, preparing all things for the coming of the Messiah. God tells his people, "You shall be to me a kingdom of priests, a holy nation." In the gospel, Jesus responds to his troubled and abandoned people, empowering his disciples to cure the sick and cleanse the lepers. Finally, St. Paul reminds that Jesus died for us while we were still helpless, offering us reconciliation through his life, death on the cross. So God continues that work today. He is reaching out to you and to me here in this Holy Mass. He is empowering his followers to go out to those who need to hear his word and draw all into God's love. Still, we may read this and think that work applies only to the successor, to the apostles. Certainly, God does might work through the sacraments entrusted to those called to the priesthood. So, dear brothers and sisters, here when we look at, we should never forget that in the sacrament of baptism, we are each anointed as priests, prophets, and kings. God called each one of us by name, a truth represented by calling by name that happens at the beginning of the rite of baptism. We are anointed with the oil of catechumenance and the sacred chrism. We are given the sacramental gift of Christ's very self so that we can, like those first disciples, go out to bring God's healing and love to all the world. Through the power of the sacrament of baptism, the church is a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. If we still feel hesitant to follow in the footsteps of these 12 disciples, let us turn our eyes towards Jesus, who gives himself to us, and with all his power that defeated death. And here in this Mass, we are fueled in this work by the Eucharistic celebration. If Christ is with me, whom should I fear? Who is against me? St. Paul says to us today. The the Lord is our strong and a gentle shepherd is calling us. He sends us out, for the harvest is abundant, but the laborers are few. So may we recognize all that we are given in this blessed sacrament, pour out His blessing on the world as we go forth. So dear brothers and sisters, today's gospel is effective, a reminder from God to each one of us. You have received grace and talents from me without charge, so you have to give without charge through your simple, responsible sharing lives. This is indeed the core of the priestly vocation, of the vocation of every Christian through his or her baptism. Finally, our call had a unique purpose and a message for each one of us. I may be priest, you're all married, different with single, or every one of us have got a special vocation to live our life for the Lord. So here, dear brothers and sisters, do not go into pagan territory or enter a Samaritan town. Go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. As you go, make this proclamation: the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Cure the sick, raise the dead, cleanse lepers, drive out the demons. Is Christ discriminating? No. Indeed, Christ came to save the world. However, our call and mission must start from somewhere. We must start this mission with ourselves. I must begin in our homes, in our families, in our communities, and later the mission can be extended to others. Through this, Christ reminds that charity begins at home. This is important because we must first become God's people before becoming God's disciples. So, my dear brothers and sisters, let us pray to God to keep us faithful to His call, to be His people, and to be His disciples. So, dear brothers and sisters, I'd like to spend and thank you. Only this weekend I'm saying this Mass. Next week is the last Mass for Randy and for me, both of us. I take this opportunity to thank the Bishop Molino, who died, and Bishop Hine, Jim Bartilla, Father Randy, and all the staff members and the choir, Andrew, and all the people here who are here. I'm very, very grateful and thankful to all of you. And also, I really enjoyed the ministry here. A lot of people here. I visited nursing homes, hospitals, and I really enjoyed serving the people of St. Denis Parish. You have given me a great opportunity to serve all of you. I'm very, very grateful. I'm going to miss you, all of you. And where I'm going there, 5 mission stations I have, Sunday 5 masses. So 3 churches, very small. Each one is 10 miles, 20 miles different. So in main station I have 5 families. The other mission stations, 10, other 20, another 10, another 5, and another 2 homes. In the homes, I will say Mass, 2 villages. So it is a countryside. It's a new mission we started like 6, 7 years back. I'm going to, as gospel said, no, today the harvest is abundant, but the laborers are few. So I'm going there to India. We have plenty of people, 80% of the Hindus and 20% Muslims, in Christians and Catholics. So different religions. Now I have to go and learn my Telugu language, mother language. Each state has got their own language. So I had to learn my language. I had to pick up my language. So, dear brothers and sisters, thank you so much for all you have done for me and for Randy, and grateful to you, all the staff members, And Deacon David and me, once in a month, serve you for the 9 o'clock Mass. He will preach, I will say Masses. Today, Deacon David gave me a chance for me. He went to occasions. I got chance to preach for all of you. Thank you for listening to my homily and my prayers for all of you. You are welcome to India. So please come whenever you can call me, and I leave my cell number and my numbers. So. Thank you, thank you. I like to sing one song, little bit. Rava Yesu Nada, Rava Jiva Nada, Rava Yesu Nada, Rava Jiva Nada, Nive Prema Nada, Nive Rakshana Data, Rava Yesu Nada. I want practicing here before I go there.